What's up, Movie Jewish Schmoedown fans? It's me again, I'm back. This is my third Schmoedown match in a row, back to back to back. And this one is between JTE and Paul Preston. And, well, it's pretty obvious who I'm rooting for. The Den. But, unfortunately though, for some reason, I don't know, I think I can feel it in my guts. This feels like yet another TKO for the Finstock Exchange. I don't know. JT is just playing on a completely different level this season. His first time back after a considerably long hiatus. But, I mean, that's what JTE does. He plays great, then he takes a break for a while, comes back stronger than ever. But, yeah, and the Finstock Exchange has been playing like crazy this season, so who knows? Maybe this will be another TKO for the Exchange. It's a pretty short video, about around 57 minutes, so kind of feels like JTE didn't get to answer any questions in round 3. So, yeah, I will be participating in the match, but I mean, it's pretty thin. I mean, after an embarrassing Inner Geekdom match that I just had as a reaction to the Chance versus Parker. Don't expect much correct answers from me tonight. So, Preston versus JTE. Here we go. Oh, there he is. The JTE. Oops.
Wait till she gets a load of this.
Uh-oh.
Hey!
Can I help you?
Do your job and let me order some McMuffins. I want like a triple banger. I want 3 boxes of McMuffins. I can't get enough. And who better to get those McMuffins than Miss McMuffin?
Ugh, you know what? I'm so sorry, sir. Turns out we're all out of McMuffins. But you know what we do have today? We have a kid's meal that comes with a hamburger and a little action figure of Andy Dalton. Everyone's favorite
Andy Dalton!
James Bond character.
Oh, you're hilarious.
Shots fired!
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Thank you.
McDalton would like a McMuffin. He deserves that. He's a great player, and I don't like to disrespect. And I would like a McMuffin. And you know what? Maybe a milkshake. And maybe, blend it with some McMuffins. Let's have a McShake.
You know, it's a really cute prank. This is a good prank. What you could do is just try to win and have some respect for other people. What you should be ordering is maybe like a book on pronunciation or just like a book about like, I don't know, like the English language. I think my kid's kindergarten, it's done now. I can let you have his old materials if that would help you at all. You want to order that?
This is how you're supposed to talk to a customer? I'm a paying customer.
Okay.
I don't have to pronounce things. Mick, as in McMuffin.
Okay, so this is what I'll say. Yes, this is how I would talk to customers if they were as idiotic and egotistical as you. Preston's real. Deal with it. Good luck.
Preston's real is my McMuffin, which I don't not be holding right now, which I should be. What's going on? What about my McMuffins?
What is with that guy?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. I'm Christian Harloff, joined, as always, by Mark Baby Carrots Ellis. And Mark, this is a really, really good singles matchup here today. There are like different tiers inside of the singles division. People who are right there, right on the edge, close to getting to those championship matches. There's the rookies who are trying to prove themselves and show. And then there's this tier that just with a couple of wins can get themselves towards the edge and towards a way to get to that number 1 contender. And we are in that said tier today. JTE, who has been playing so great, has already got himself to a finals in a teams tournament this year, has already won 1 match in singles, a great triumphant return from the former team's champion against Paul Preston, who is also having a good year thus far. Had a great free-for-all showing, fought really hard in his teams match, and had a great singles victory against James White. So this is a big match for both these guys here today.
It really is. And when you look at JTE, sure, he has that championship medal that is predominantly with teams, with his former partner, Jeff Snyder. Him and the Patriots were lights out for so many seasons, it felt like. But that always
Last
elusive
season,
singles belt has managed to elude him. And Paul Preston, I mean, you talk about close runner-ups. Both him and his former movie guy buddy, Adam Witt, I mean, they just get so close, Christian, and it's just like, you can't quite get over the hump. Well, both of these fellas have a chance to make quite the singles division statement with a win over their opponent today.
Yeah, it's big for the Den, who could pick up some points here as they're a little behind in the standings, but they're making what the Den's doing is they keep throwing these shots that doesn't put them out. It just gets them over the hump, and they're able to keep doing that. The Exchange started out super hot. They've had a couple of losses here and there, but for the most part, they're still in the run for this thing. So this is a big match for both factions, both guys, and I want to see all the smack talk that we know that we've gotten there. These are two massive personalities, and let's see some of that right now.
Okay, it arrived. Got my letter from Christian telling me who I'm going to play next in the Schmoedown.
Oh boy.
JTE?
I'm going to play JTE. Christian, I'm the powder keg.
And your winner, the Powder Keg!
Paul, this is your first win since 2019. I'm sure this feels good.
You know, studying and all that stuff, where it needed to fall on me because I've been riding on what I know for too long, and now I needed to get in there and dig and study. And people around me are doing it. I couldn't ignore it anymore, and yeah, it pays off. And I got to play the other guy in the Patriots. Who's next? Philip Michael Thomas, Andrew Ridgely.
JTE and Gucci, God, it's like a pilot people keep pitching and no one wants to see.
I feel better about Ben not winning the way he won today than I would if JTE was mine and I won the way he won.
Me and JTE together are unstoppable. We always were. JTE never misses his fives. This guy is unbelievable on so many different levels. He is the cornerstone of the Finstock Exchange.
Look what he did already. He took care of business against Ben Goddard. Then we got ourselves a TKO right off the bat with our first tag teams match. We're all leading by example.
Oh yeah, well listen, if it doesn't work the first time around, let's try it 7 more times. Grab it down your throats.
If JTE's won 10 and lost 10, that means he's 50-50. Guess what? Won one, lost one, 50-50, baby.
James White brought his best game, and I beat him. I'm your best game killer, and I'm about to end the JTE comeback. That's enough. Let's go, little ego.
Little ego. Took me a while to get here.
JT doesn't have any respect for Paul Preston, as he doesn't have any respect for most people. And he talked about how he met Preston once at a trivia game all those years ago and said, "Why is this guy even talking to me? I'm JT. I'm a champion. This is who is this character?" And Paul Preston, in the battle of wits, you might think Paul Preston's going to win, but you never know. JTE has some really good zingers, so I don't know what's going to happen as far as the zingers go, but I also don't know what's going to happen as far as the trivia.
He really does have some good one-liners. Now, would I trust him to read a sentence out loud? Probably not, but Paul Preston can fire right back. And so with these two, you don't have to read anything out loud. You just have to get movie questions correct, and they're both really good at doing just that.
All right, well, you're really good at calling these matches with me, and that's why I'm glad you're here. You're ready to get going.
That's what the wave is for.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. 3 rounds in the singles division. Introducing first, representing the 10, with a record of 4 wins, 3 defeats, and 1 knockout. He is the Powder King, Paul Preston! Paul Preston now, once a lot of people said we look like one another, now he is sounding something like me as well. Paul, You know, I've seen what you and JT have been doing, whether it's on social media or whether it is the promo that we just saw. This is a former team's champion. Do you have any respect for this man?
No.
Listen, my fans out there who love the powder keg, the kegels, they want to see me to stay above 500. So, yeah, I want to do this not just for me and a little bit of revenge factor, but, yeah, so any mouthing off that he does, look, the Finstock Exchange, they come in with their egos. They talk. Nobody likes them. Like nobody likes the guys at the stock exchange, right? These are all to the end douchebags. And I'm here to sort of knock them down, put them in their place, and make sure that I get out on top. And by the way, we kind of, I don't know if we're looking like each other anymore. I can't see how much weight you guys have gained, but you both got the facial hair going. It's sharp.
Thank you. Oh, well, I'm going to take that as a compliment towards me, and I'll pay one right back with your manager because Kate really cares. She really cares. She's very competitive, but she's also classy, usually, whether in victory or defeat. So what have you and her talked about as far as facing this particular opponent? Because you know the Finstock Exchange loves nothing more than getting into people's noggins.
Yeah, stay on target is pretty much, the classic phrase from Star Wars. That's the deal. Stay on target. Whatever nonsense you hear these guys yammering on about, just let it go and focus on the prize, all right? And the prize is not just my advancement in singles play to get to where I need to be, a little bit of revenge as well. I mean, this is the guy who knocked out Ben Goddard, okay, in the last game they played. Ben's my guy, all right, from the outsider. So I can't have that. So it's kind of like, look, the Den, bunch of lions who take care of each other, all right? And if you knock out Simba, Mufasa's going to come down on you hard.
All right, well, good luck to you, Paul Preston. We'll see you in just a moment. And his opponent, representing the Finstock Exchange, with a record of 10 wins, 10 defeats, and 1 knockout. He is the former Movie Trivia Schmoedown Team Champion of the World, JTE. A big day here for the Exchange. Obviously, today you have this match. Your team's partner, John Roca, faces Ben Bateman on the pay-per-view tonight. But you started out against the Powder Keg, Paul Preston. Now, I ask you the same question I asked him. Any respect for the Powder Keg?
A little bit. Here's the thing. I first met Paul Preston before the Schmoedown. He used to run this movie trivia night at this Mexican restaurant. I would go get some tacos, and I would listen to his trivia, and I would usually win every time I went. And I kind of judged his questions a little bit. Some were too easy. Some were actually too hard at times. So I don't know how much that's going to play into this game. How much did he actually retain from doing that night? But I will say this. That Mexican restaurant actually closed down. Was it due to COVID? Was it because his trivia nights just weren't up to par? I don't know. But I miss those tacos.
Fair enough.
Something about you coming on screen or maybe saying that just makes me hungry. But you seem very hungry this year of a different sort. You seem really on a mission to get wins, to get respect, to get back to that, what Christian was referring to as the top tier in the singles division. How are you going to do that? And what would a victory over Paul Preston today do for those chances?
Well, you guys said my record. I want to be above 500. So this to me is pretty important because I just want to get my record just a little bit better on paper. And yeah, I want to get that belt. I want a shot at that belt. I got close once. I went to the tournament and I went to the tournament finals with Sam Levine. Just lost that match, a worthy opponent. So this really is just, I'm excited to get back into it and play some of these people that I haven't played yet. And to, again, silence the doubters who say, oh, JT, the game passed you by. I think I shut up a lot of those people so far this season, but I'm looking forward to do even more. Paul Preston, any guy that has a hat with no top because he has enough hair to not need a top, I already don't like you. You're on my enemy's book. Look at that hair coming out of there.
Enemy's book.
So we have both the Powder Keg and Little Evil are here today. And Mark, what are the rules of round number 1?
Good lettuce on top of Paul Preston. As for JT, it's more like an Arizona-style lawn. Round number 1, 8 questions in 8 different corners of movie trivia Schmoedown goodness. Your first, last, and every question in between is worth 1 point. There's no penalty for missing a question. There is no stealing. At least there isn't in round number 1. You have 15 seconds to get that correct answer from inside your head, regardless of how much hair is on top of it, onto whatever writing surface you prefer. Once we ask you by name or nickname, please show what you wrote to your camera at the same time you verbalize your attempt into the microphone. I'll remind each competitor you have one challenge you may utilize at any point throughout the 3-round match. We'll bring in managers. We'll delineate and deliberate to our heart's content. It will ultimately be your manager that confirms if said challenge is taking place. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, JTE. He was this guy who used to intern for us. Anyway, he's got a rule named after him, and that is your repeat rule. If you need to use another 15 seconds to get that correct answer, you didn't hear the question right, use a JTE rule. Oh, my God, Christian, I just realized that's one of the guys competing today.
Yeah, it is. He goes, well, there's he has his own rule, but it's not something you really should brag of. It's because he was, taking advantage of everything. All right, here is the Mark. I got to ask first. I asked that gentleman, JTE, are you ready?
I am ready.
I asked Paul Preston, are you ready, sir?
Mark Ellis, I'm Heary. I'll answer your query. Get used to it.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown. Round number 1, question number 1. We're going to start with directors. Kevin Reynolds directed which actor as the lead in the films Waterworld and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves? Thieves. You like the way I said that, Mark? Thieves. I think that JTE and Paul Preston could play thieves in a movie.
They really do look like they should team up for some sort of ill-fated bank robbery.
5.
Now, the answer
3,
I gave last
2,
match
1.
actually
Pens down.
makes sense.
Little Evil?
Kevin Costner.
Yes, and Paul Preston.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner.
It is a tie game so far, and now we get to question 2.
That's right. JT even spelled it right. He's 1 for 1 in that category. Your next question, in the world of drama, and the query for a point. Who plays the lead role of investigative reporter Cal McCaffrey in the 2009 political thriller State of Play?
So this is a... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking about this matchup, and you're looking at really what 2 of the fiercest competitors
5.
we've ever seen.
4. They're very evenly matched. 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, please. And we start with Paul Preston this time.
Russell Crowe.
Yes. And JTE.
Missed it. Ben Affleck.
Wow. All right. So Paul Preston goes up, as Dagnino is definitely upset about that, as I remember being at a fight one time, watching on TV, and Dagnino said, "Look, it's Russell Crowe," and the whole room just stopped. All right, here is the third question. And it is going to be mixed bag. Which year saw the release of the following films: The Last Starfighter, Gremlins, and Dune?
Story time with Uncle Christian warrants a follow-up. Was it actually Russell Crowe, or was it one of
No, it was. It was just so bizarre because we were about to watch this big fight and just like pan to the audience, saw him, and he screamed at the top of his lungs. 5, 4, 3.
You can use a repeat.
2.
JT me.
Yeah, go to JTE yourself. All right, and here's the first one.
me.
All right, here's the first JT for you. Which year saw the release of the following films: The Last Starfighter, Gremlins, and Dune? It's the first JTE rule by JT.
Surprising that JTE can JTE himself, and we can put it on camera.
And 2 hands up for everybody. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, and JTE.
It's a guess. 86?
It's incorrect. Paul Preston?
84.
Yes, sir. Paul Preston looking pretty good right now. 3-1 with a 2-point lead over JTE as we get to our next question.
Yeah, pretty good Van Halen record came out that year, too. Your next question, in the world of biopics. And it is, who plays Fred Rogers in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
Well, it wasn't me, Mark.
No?
So you'd be incorrect if you answered that it was me.
Okay, well, let's just practically give him the answer. It wasn't me either, boys. So
don't do that.
Up you whittle it
5,
down.
4, little. I see what you did there. 3, 2, 1. Oh, you said whittle. And pens down, and now we start with Paul Preston.
My favorite person.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yes. And
Boom.
JT.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
JT getting back on the board, and it is 4-2. Preston, with a 2-point lead over JTE. And here is the next question. We're going to go with animated.
Animated.
Tina Fey voices the character 22, who is trapped in the Great Before, in which Pixar film?
It's my favorite number, 22. But, you know,
there's a
JT just doesn't
catch
strike me as
22
the kind of guy that really cares about perfect rounds or stats. He just wants to get into a street fight.
That's very true. We've seen it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up. And JTE.
Soul.
Yes. And Paul.
So,
Paul Preston, still perfect throughout 5 questions here. And here's question 6.
And it's
I'm
in the
actually
category
tied
of
with
horror
JTE. I'm
/
surprised
thriller.
at myself.
Scary movie.
Oh,
Comedies.
Horrifically timed. Your question for a point. What 1990s horror film has the tagline, "Someone has taken their love of scary movies one step too far. Solving this mystery is going to be murder"?
it's a good tagline.
I did some stand-up with the Sklar brothers the other night. Frequent basketball opponents of JTE in my time.
Good story about them, too. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, please. And we're going to start here with Paul Preston.
Boom. Scream.
You got it. JTE.
Scream.
Okay, so still a 2-point lead, but Preston at the moment is 2 away from a perfect round. It is 6-4 at the moment. And we get to our next question. This is
Super
family
Mario
films.
64.
Which 1996 family film from director Danny DeVito follows a bright little girl with special powers whose insensitive parents send her to a school run by a cruel authoritarian?
Wow.
You like that read?
That was pretty good. Sounded
Thanks,
like
man.
sounded like you lived it.
Sometimes I feel like I have, Mark.
You want a hug?
Yes. 5, 4,
I have no
3.
idea.
2. I felt that. 1. Pens down, please. Hands up, and we're going to start with JTE.
Matilda.
Well done. And
I
Paul.
said Annie for
Matilda.
some reason.
Okay,
I
so
think that's the name
Preston
of the
at the
character,
moment
though, but
working on a
whatever.
potential perfect round should he get this question right. If he does, he'll get a bonus question. Mark, this is the 8th question.
And it's in the category of Oscars, the most prestigious ceremony of the year. So good, it doesn't need a host. Your question for a point, gentlemen. For what film did Alicia Vikander win her Best Supporting Actress Oscar?
Obviously, JTE looking to try to stay in line with Preston's score and hoping that Preston misses here so he doesn't get that bonus.
Could have a bonus point.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, and Preston for the perfect round.
the Danish
Ex
girl.
Machina?
He does it. JTE,
Okay, never
The
mind.
Danish girl.
he's got it, but
The
Preston,
Natish
because
girl.
he hits that perfect round, is going to get a bonus question. Paul, this is for you and only you. You don't have to write it down. You simply have to answer it with 15 seconds to answer said question. Here it is. How many total Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films have there been released to date? 20 seconds for this one.
6.
Six.
That is correct. For one more point, Paul Preston with a brilliant first round
69.
finds himself up by 3, 9-6 over the former team's champion. It is 9-6, and round number 2 is about to begin.
It is. Coincidentally, none of those 6 TMNT movies needed Raphael at all. In the wheel round, that's round number 2, it's the Wheel of Fate, Doom, and Justice. We don't have the kind of bread to send you each a wheel, so it's virtual. You'll spin it with your mind. Once you settle on a category, 4 questions
casual
emerge from that particular
signature Mark
round.
Ellis
Questions worth 2
dig at
points. If
Raphael.
you're not sure of the answer, you can ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of
So
which
good thing Winston
I believe
isn't
is the
here.
correct answer. At that point, the value of the question recedes to 1. That's important because stealing is available in round number 2. If you miss the question, your opponent can steal. There is no penalty for missing a question, other than, the threat of stealing.
All right, well, with that, we are going to give Paul Preston, who is in the lead at the moment. Paul, would you like to spin first or defer to your opponent?
I'll spin first.
All right, Kate, 60 seconds starting now.
Thank you. Okay, Paul, so here's the strategy from here on out. What? Oh, Oh, you're calling. Hello?
Yeah, listen, I don't want these, if we were playing a live match or in the studio or anything, people wouldn't get to hear what we're talking about.
Oh my
So I
God,
figure
you're okay.
I don't want these chowderheads hosts to know what we're talking about or any of the other players. So I figured make it a phone call, right?
Then they can't hear us. I love it.
So what do you got?
I love it. You are. We always talk about it because I always say, when you have a perfect round, then get the extra point, which is going to happen. And then look what you just did. You just executed it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this out loud. Have fun having a perfect second round. Have a great spin. Let's have fun. I'm glad no one else heard this.
I'm gonna get
really
so many
good
bonus.
strategy.
I'm gonna get so many bonus questions in the second round. It's gonna be crazy.
Tell them they have 10 seconds left.
Oh man, I wish I could hear them. But anyway, let's. Should we just tell them we should spin?
I have limited minutes. I should
Okay.
go.
Oh wow. Okay. Still on a track phone. Okay. Goodbye.
Good
We'll
talk,
spin.
guys. I was on the
And-
line the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, you were. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here is the spin by Paul Preston. Let's see what he's going to take here.
Christian, I was on the phone with them the whole time. You know what I heard? Comedy gold.
It was good.
Can't believe he NSA'd us.
And we're going to land on
Stop already!
new releases. New releases. So you got 60
releases,
seconds to decide if you want to stick with new releases, Paul.
Paulie P, I'll tell you what, today that question that you knew the answer to, I was very impressed with. But it's really up to you. I mean, there's obviously things that we prefer on the wheel, but there's also some other stuff we don't. So
Yeah, let's stick with it.
let's stick with it.
All right, so JTE is back.
Did I
Paul
mention that
Preston
I got
has
5
decided
so
to
far?
stay with
I
the
think I
category
did,
of
but
new
maybe I
releases.
forgot about it.
So, Paul, you're going to get 4.
Maybe I forgot I did.
4 inside of this category. Here is the first. All right. First question in new releases. Who wrote and directed Promising Young Woman?
Emerald Fennel.
It's correct. 2 points. Question 2. Who was nominated for a Best Supporting Actor Academy Award for their role of Abby Hoffman in The Trial of the Chicago 7?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
That's correct. Question 3. Colin Farrell and Judi Dench appear in what 2020 fantasy film?
Artemis Fowl.
Artemis Fowl.
That's correct. And for your final question in this room, which horror film from director Natalie Erica James follows a family of women who are haunted by a manifestation of dementia that consumes their home? Dementia, Dementia. And 5.
Repeat the question, please.
All right, first one. Here it is. Which horror film from director Natalie Erica James follows a family of women who are haunted by a manifestation of dementia that consumes their home?
JTE kind of looks frozen a bit.
And 5.
I'll take multiple.
All right, multiple choice. Here are the options. Is it A, Unhinged, B, The Rental, C, Antebellum, D, Relic?
D, Relic.
Antebellum.
It's correct for 1 more point. So Paul Preston sees himself now 16-6, 10 over JTE, and now we get to round
Okay, so
number,
no TKO
JTE's
today.
wheel spin. Here we go. So we're going to drop out Paul
No
Preston. We're going to
TKO
bring in
for the
Dagnino.
Stock Exchange.
60 seconds starting.
And of course,
You know, we're gonna play darts later, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so and we played Go Fish yesterday. I won, and then we bowled the other day as well, and you bowled a 269, and I bowled a 271. Now, then
Sure.
we went. I got a pack of jumping jacks. Okay,
Okay.
straight from San Diego. We're gonna light off later after we win this match. You know, look, this guy's a good player. We know that. But we're better.
Listen, Ben Affleck was in that movie. I didn't think they were going for the lead. I should have went Russell Crowe. That was my mistake. But
Russell Crowe.
I feel pretty good.
It's perfect, man. Don't worry about it. Let's spin the wheel.
I like everything on this wheel, so I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
You didn't bowl with 271.
Would you really bowl?
It was in the twos. I just don't remember. It was like 40 or something like that. I'm fantastic at everything I do, obviously.
Let's get the wheel up there. Here's a spin by JTE.
Now, even if JTE goes perfect,
Were there
he's gonna
bumpers used?
be tied with Paul Preston going into round 3, which means there will be no TKO for the first time exchange.
I beat Cody
In
Hall
this match,
I did too.
Felt great.
there's still
All right, it's looking
another
like
match.
Halle Berry.
later
Halle Berry, 60
Halle
seconds to
Berry.
decide.
Halle Berry.
So this is a tough time. I like a lot of things on this wheel. I am down. Honestly, the only thing I'm worried about is opponent's choice.
True.
So do I stick with Halle or do I try to press my luck and go for a perfect round here? What do you think?
I think it's a seldom used category here, and you can do it because you're perfect.
It's kind of
I think
You know what?
on a couple of different scenarios that have happened recently.
I don't feel bad about it.
I would say let's stick with it, man.
Let's stick with it. I like Halle Berry. I see
All right.
almost all her moves. Let's do it.
All right, JTE now, Mark, will get 4 questions in the realm of Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Friend of the show, Halle Berry. She's probably watching. Hello, Halle, and here are 4 questions in your realm for
JTE.
Josh, 2 points for this first question, unless you need multiple choice, and it is. Halle Berry plays the character Sophia Al-Azwar in what action movie franchise?
John Wick. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
It's only 2. I'm going to say John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Even more specific than we needed. John Wick is correct.
They just
and
asked
that is
the
2 points for
franchise.
JTE.
They didn't ask the movie.
Question 2.
And that is, in the world of Halle Berry plays the character Miss Stone in what live-action 1994 family film based on a TV cartoon?
The Flintstones.
Is correct for another 2 points.
movie.
He's cooking early, Christian, and now his
that.
penultimate Halle Berry question in round number 2 is, Halle Berry made her movie debut in which film from director Spike Lee?
Jungle Fever.
It was a pretty good joint, that one. He's got 6 points of a possible 6 so far for a perfect round 2 in the world of Halle Berry. Here's his last question.
IG match earlier. Just
What
wanted
is
to
the
point
first
that out.
name of Halle Berry's character in the film Catwoman?
First name?
I don't know if it's the real from the comics.
5, 4.
Let me go multiple choice.
All right, you have 4 options for a point. Is it A, Selena, B, Ruby, C, Patience, or D, Helena?
Patience.
I believe it's C, Patience.
Your belief has been minted into fact. That is correct for 7 of a possible 8 points in round 2 that he sorely needed, Christian. Now, we only got a 3-point ball game heading into the final round.
Great round by both JTE and Preston, both just checking down to multiple choice once per opponent. And now we're going to get to the final round. It's round number 3.
Wait a
Mark,
minute.
what are the
There's
rules?
one more question.
In round number 3, the round that will determine the match. Each competitor
they're
is
missing
going to
a
give us a
question.
series of
Wait a
numbers.
minute.
These numbers may range from 1 to 20. You may not pick the same integers as your opponent. Why is that? Well, because each numeral corresponds to a unique category of Schmoedown goodness. Your first question
still has
is
one
worth
more.
2 points. Your next one's worth
he
3
answered
points.
3
Your final
questions
question
in
is
that
worth
round.
5 gigantic points. They're so big, some may call them Tyrannoceratops points. No penalty for missing a question. No stealing in round number 3. It is Paul Preston who has the option of giving us his 3 lucky numbers first. Paul, you got a range of 1 to 20. Within that, what feels the most fortunate?
Let's go 12, 7, and 3.
12, 7, and 3 for Preston and for JTE.
We'll go 13, 19, 7.
13, 19, and 7 for JTE. 12, 7, and 3 for Paul Preston. So we're going to drop JTE out, and we're going to bring in Kate. All right, Kate, 60 seconds starting now.
You there?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh my God. You are so amazing. I could, honest to God, the next time you sweat, I want you to put it in a cup for me so I can drink it. You are the best player I've ever seen in my whole life. You're amazing, for real, though.
Okay.
This is your game at this point, and I got to tell you, listen, you're up by 3. That's massive. Okay, so stay in the pocket, my man.
I will. I'll stay in a pocket. I'll be
Yeah.
in a pocket. Is where you want me.
I'm just really glad no one can hear
Pocketed.
this. Yeah. All right, stay in my pocket, buddy. Talk to you soon. Okay. See you when you
that's
win.
awkward. Bye.
See you when you win. Bye.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
No?
JT, before
Yes.
your 60 seconds starts, we need you to select a different number that is not 7.
Yeah. Do we need to re-record it?
Nope. We're
No.
just gonna give,
Okay.
give you
Just
the number right
give me
now.
6. Give me 6.
6 it is. Thanks,
Great.
everyone.
So,
can
so you
continue
got
with-
13. So 13, 19, and 6.
got
Interesting.
it.
They picked up on that
Look, buddy.
mistake, but they didn't pick up on the whole.
You know the deal here.
He
Hey,
only
I was
answered
in the
3
same
questions
position with
in
Ben
round
Goddard.
2.
Yeah.
The answer is 5. I did. I won the match.
Maybe I'm getting it
Five,
wrong.
that's
I need to
all
go
that
back and
matters.
watch it.
People choke on their 5. You're the best 5-pointer answerer of all time, and you know that. Snyder knows it. I mean, I know it. I mean, I'm pretty good at it too because I was in the whole manuscript at one time for us, and
Yes.
then delayed the match like 3 months so we would lose, obviously, because the world
Yeah.
fires against us on a consistent basis, and I'm fine with that because, like I said, even if you lose, we still win.
Yes.
Let's go and get this guy.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right, Mark. So round number 3, it is about to begin. Our competitors are here. We're going to start with JTE, who's trying to avoid the TKO, and he began with 13, and that puts us in the realm of westerns.
That's right, like your cowboy buddy there. All right, so JTE for 2 points, and this could pull you to within 1 of Powder Keg's lead. Your question in the world of westerns is: in what Oscar-winning western will you find a town sheriff named Little Bill and a gunslinger named English Bob?
That would be Unforgiven.
The Great Unforgiven is correct, and he's within 1 of Preston's lead.
He is. So now we jump to category 19, where we now get to an actor. That actor would be Tom Hanks.
I hear he's done some popular work in the past. Your question, JT, this could give you the lead by 2 points over Paul. What is the most recent time that Tom Hanks has been directed by Steven Spielberg? We need the movie.
Bridge of Spies.
That would be The Post.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The kid knows his Tom Hanks, and now it is JTE who has the lead. Powder Keg will not be having a TKO today. He needs to answer some questions.
Yeah, he needs to answer some questions. To tie JTE, he's got to hit his 2-pointer. He's got to hit his 2-point question. That would be category 12, Mark, and that would put us into your favorite. That's comedy.
That's why we don't laugh. No, we don't. Serious. Too serious enough. Far too dramatic. Paul?
Yes.
To tie the little evil next to you for 2 points in the world of comedy, your question: which famous musician plays an Italian-American widow that falls in love with Nicolas Cage in the 1987 romantic comedy Moonstruck?
Cher?
Share.
I think she won an Oscar. Did she win an Oscar? We're checking if she won an
I have
Oscar for
no
that. Paul wins
idea.
2 points for that correct answer.
Oh,
so
I
now
knew
it's tied.
that.
Powder Keg and JTE all
I
knotted
did.
up.
We're tied up, but because we have an opportunity for Paul Preston to take the lead here and throw it back to JTE to force him on his 5, Paul's going to answer his 3-pointer,
this could still
and
be
that
a
would be
sudden
category
death.
7, and that would be scores and soundtracks. Scores and soundtracks.
Squirrels.
Joe
and
Theismann's lucky
Sergeant
number, and
Zach.
now it's a musical number for Paul Preston. Powder Keg for 3 points and the lead outright. In the world of scores and soundtracks, what 2014 film features the Oscar-winning song Glory, performed by John Legend and Common?
Selma.
Powder Keg is a 3-point lead, and now JTE has a 5-pointer. He's got to
go.
have.
All right, so
Well,
now
no
we are
sudden
at
death now.
Sorry,
my bad.
JTE. JTE needs to hit his 5-point question. If he does, if JTE hits his 5-pointer, then Preston will be forced to answer his. However, if he misses, then Paul Preston will pick up the victory. JTE, you chose category 6, and that would be Martin Scorsese films.
And I have 2 JTs left, correct?
You have 2 JTEs left. That is accurate.
Great.
All right. So here is the question. Here you go.
You have 2 U's remaining. In the
Yes.
world of Martin Scorsese
2 JT
for
means.
5 points. For the lead,
JTU.
In which Scorsese film will you find a character named Francine Evans who records the anthem "But the World Goes Round" that turns her into a popular figure in the music industry?
World goes round.
5, 4.
JTE.
Second one.
All right, you have one remaining. In which Scorsese film will you find a character named Francine Evans who records the anthem "But the World Goes Round" that turns her into a popular figure in the music industry?
Don't think there's any gangsters in this movie. That would help me if there's some gangsters in there.
5,
Oh, man.
4, 3.
Another JTE, me, please.
Last one.
All right, categories Martin Scorsese. And the question: in which Scorsese film will you find a character named
course they're gonna
Francine
blame it on
Evans
the
who records the
stupid
anthem
question
"But the World
if
Goes
he doesn't
Round"
get
that
it,
turns her into a
right?
popular figure in the music industry?
This sounds nothing like this Scorsese movie. Sounds so different than. I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to say New York, New York.
That's correct.
JTE
What an
hits,
actor.
JTE hits the 5-pointer. JTE hits the 5-point question. And because of it, Paul Preston forced to hit his 5. Now, if Paul Preston hits it, he wins. He beats JTE. However, if he misses, JTE will win the game. All right, so Preston chose category 3. That is category of action adventure. Action adventure. All right.
Action adventure for Paul Preston for the 5-pointer and the win. Your question: in the 1984 film Red Dawn, which actor plays Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Andy Tanner that meets the Wolverines after being shot down by a jet fighter?
Five, 4, 3.
JTE.
First one.
All right. 2 remaining. In the 1984 film Red Dawn, which actor plays Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Andy Tanner that meets the Wolverines after being shot down by a jet fighter?
Five, 4.
JTE. Final one, I think, right? Or
That's the second one.
okay.
Last one.
So it's 1 remaining. In the 1984 film Red Dawn, which actor plays Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Andy Tanner that meets the Wolverines after being shot down by a jet fighter? That
No
is
remaining.
Paul Preston's last JT.
It is. You're right. This is the last one.
Yeah, because he used one in round 1, I think.
Thank you for clarification. 5.
Michael Ironside.
Maybe it was round 2.
And your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Little Evil JTE. The extras was Powers Booth. Powers Booth was the answer. JTE getting the victory here. JTE, unbelievable comeback once again.
Yes, sir.
Comes
Let's
back
go, baby.
and does it.
In the world. Beautifully done.
Wow. What a comeback. It's the second comeback. He did it against Paul Preston's. He did it against Paul Preston's partner, Ben Goddard, and now he comes back and does it. The New York pull was a big pull. And it winds up winning him the game here because Paul Preston just missing. That's pretty close. Those two pulls there. It was a very great guess by Ironside.
That was a good guess.
It was the other Ironside. It was Powers Booth. All right, Mark, that was a battle. Paul Preston pretty much had JT's number the whole match, the same way that Ben Goddard had him. But that Little Evil, he just knows how to come back and fight back. And I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead to rights with the 5-pointer. I didn't think he knew it at all. And yeah, that's it. So Unbelievable.
Shows you how
Great
good he
match.
really is.
We could both be accused and we would be guilty of underestimating his movie knowledge breadth sometimes, because you ask him a Scorsese question, you assume he's thinking Goodfellas, he's thinking Mean Street, he's thinking Casino, he's not thinking New York, New York. Now, the question I would really love to ask Jen Sturgeon, maybe Jen's going to ask him this, is about that New York, New York pull. Did he have it the whole time? Was that gamesmanship, or was it really down to his last second before he remembered that Scorsese did direct New York, New York? For an interview and possibly to answer that question, we go now to JTE, his manager, Gucci, and sorry to put you in this position, Jen Sturge.
All right, I'm getting word that Jen Sturger, the text is, no, thank you. You'd rather not talk to Gucci today. So that's fine. She gets a mulligan, if you will. So listen, JTE, you did it again. You're like a fighter, whether it's Mickey Ward or whoever it might be, and your back is against the wall, and it looks like you're out, and you throw that big haymaker, and you do it. You did it to Ben Goddard. You do it now to Preston. What do you think it is, man? Is staying in the pocket? Is it the years of practice?
Listen, man, in this game, if you're truly a great player, you're never truly out unless you're getting TKO'd. You get me down to the 5, and there's always a puncher's chance. Literally, Mickey Ward, a Boston native, he might be losing the match, but he's going to hit you with that left to the body, and you're going to crumble down. Paul played a good game. Listen, the guy knows his stuff. I struggled a little bit in that first round. I wish I would have done a little bit better. Maybe use a JTE for that Russell Crowe. Ben Affleck was in that movie. But you know what? It feels good to beat this guy. Kate McMuffin, bring on her whole stable. I'll beat them all. I already beat her team. What else you got?
Do you really feel that that's her name? Or is that
best in town? He is the best 5-point answerer of all time.
I gotta clarify
the man is
something.
a legend. He always will be
I
a
was
legend.
wrong.
That's why he's on the Finstock Exchange.
I was wrong.
What happens here is, like I said
JTE
earlier,
answered
he could be
all of
down
his questions
25
in round
points in the third round, still
2.
find a way to win. This is
I
what
got
this
it
guy
wrong.
does. He's magic.
I just
hard.
watched
Look,
Star Wars
Gucci, it's hard to argue the fact you guys have been winning a lot of matches. Your rookies have been getting it done. You guys went far in the tournament, obviously. JT's been having a great season so far. Roka's got a big match here coming up in just a little bit tonight. So,
hopefully it won't happen again.
JTE, this is for you, Dagnino. JTE, you guys have gotten a lot of crap in the offseason. Why are you signing him for a free agent? He's proved he's one of your top earners, if you will, if you want to go to the Scorsese model. He's one of your top earners right now. And what is it about this? What is it about your dynamic that you and JT work so well?
We've worked together for so long. I mean, we bowl, we play darts, we light firecrackers.
They are friends
we play
in
golf,
real life.
we cook steaks together. We have a bond that goes back a very long time, and we don't even have to, we use mental telepathy to speak to each other at times. We just see eye to eye. I don't have to say anything to the man. He just knows it. You know what? I have golf at 3 o'clock. He'll be there as well. I didn't even invite him. He just knows I'm going to be there.
Right.
So it's like we fit like a glove, and it's like the way it goes when we took him on as the third guy coming to our squad. He's a stabilizer. The man stops the bleeding. He stops the bleeding.
Well, let me stabilize this interview for a second. And let me say here, JTE, the other thing is right now, it's a good possibility you might be getting what you asked for with Jeff Snyder with a possible match here. It's either Jeff Snyder or it could be Liz Shannon Miller, one of those two. Not that they're playing each other, it's just a matter of how you're going to get one of those two. We just don't know which one yet. How would you feel about playing your former partner who you've beaten in singles once before?
I beat him before. I would like to beat Liz sometime. I beat her in the tournament. For me, this was a okay day for me, and even when I'm having an okay day, I can still come out on top.
No, that was Oyama.
It's scary. If I have a good day, or if I'm having a good run, you're TKO'd. So just be careful, because you can't catch me. I don't really have a bad day. You can only catch me an okay day or a really good day. Either way, I'm probably going to beat you.
Well, you won again here today. Congratulations to you. And Gucci, before I let you go, you got a big match here coming up in a little bit. It's Ben Bateman and it's John Roca. I know how much this means to you because of all the history between you and Bateman, and you don't like Bateman. Yeah, Side Carwillie, as you call him. So what do you, any notes or anything that any predictions for tonight's match?
Pain.
I knew
You know what? Here's what you have to look at. With a guy like Bateman or Marty Jannetty or Burt Ward or whatever you want to call him, because JT's Mickey Ward. Bateman's Burt Ward. So he's signing autographs at some stupid conventions while Mickey Ward is like winning at life. And the thing is, Roca, he knows what he needs to do here.
Right.
He's the GOAT Law for a reason. This is the kind of win that will cement his legacy at being the best.
And let's not forget,
one of the best players of all time. Because in my opinion, the real GOAT of the league is the man in the middle right here. This man is a complete genius, character work. He lulls people to sleep and then knocks them out with a haymaker. He is the best 5-point answerer in the history of this game, and there's no question about it. Anybody who wants to contend on that, they're wrong, because the man just pulls it. And he's got such, you know what it is? He's got, like I said before, a manual dexterity, intestinal fortitude, and he leads people to believe that they can beat him. He leads people to believe that they think he's stupid, but he's the smartest person in the room.
All right, well,
listen. Heart of a lion, balls of an elephant.
Laser eyes. Let's go.
Congratulations to you both. You find out picking yourself up yet another win. 2 points there for the exchange and another win for JTE. JTE, you got yourself now to 11-10. It's the first time you've had a winning record in just a little bit, over because of the rough start that you had in the first couple of seasons. But now picking it back up, win another one, 2-0 in singles this season. Great season for JTE thus far. Hey.
Thank you, Christian. Awesome is a strong word, but I think that probably gave you some appreciation as to how good Jen Sturger is her job, because I know you were excited to do the interview initially. About halfway, it looked like you were just ready to wrap this damn thing up, but Gucci just kept throwing superlatives towards his boy's way. And why not? What a 5-pointer pull that was on a level of a Stacey Howard or a Josh McCouga.
It was a good poll. It was, you can tell him kind of going through his head and his Rolodex of the Scorsese films and wondering if he was going to do it and throwing the guess out there. So JT does it. He picks up this victory, and it's well earned. He played really well, and he's right. His back is against the wall, and it was a hell of a match. But now Jen Sturger decides she's not actually, to be completely fair, she's having technical issues, so we're not able to have her on the second interview either.
Hi.
Hey, we're here with Preston. Oh, wait. I can wait.
I'm single parenting this weekend.
It's all good.
And when Paul didn't win, someone had poo-poos at that same instant.
It was JTE.
It was JTE. It was JTE. It was all of us, honestly.
That's right. Well, listen, guys, this is a heartbreaking one. I mean, because Paul, this is a very different match, I guess, for you, because you were winning this kind of. It was very similar to the Ben Goddard match, and then you just got a question at the end. Was that something, because we talked about the Powers Booth and Michael Ironside? Was it just trying to remember which one of those two? Did you ever get to Powers Booth?
This I should have challenged, right? Because who knows the damn difference between those two guys?
That's true.
Christian, who was in Visiting Hours?
Powers Booth?
Michael Ironside.
Yeah,
who was in Sudden Death?
Michael Ironside.
Powers Booth.
Right,
who was in Extreme Prejudice?
JTE.
Both of them.
Both of them. That makes sense. Yeah.
These, and that's a risky move for your production to put those two guys in the same movie and have the audience try and figure out who the hell they are.
What do you think in regards to JTE? Do you? I mean, obviously, the Den has their problems with the exchanges. I think most of the league does. But is there respect from a competitor like JTE watching what he's able to do and come back and to continuously to win?
Based on the 5-pointer, I don't have respect for him as an actor. That's for sure. If there's one thing I learned from Tom Dagnito, is that John Roca must be a real turd. Apparently, JTE is the greatest player in the history of everything. So, maybe I could get on board that a little bit because he did win today. But man, it was the man love over there. It was something. It was something to be a part of. And listen, I'm just. I couldn't have a better percentage of answering questions right, and then to be 500 this is brutal.
Go away.
I'll tell you what else is brutal that you don't have to worry about anymore is me asking you questions. Because watch this trick.
Paul, I don't understand how I keep seeing you here, because I don't feel like your record is really, or like the result is not indicative of how you play. All of your matches literally come down to the last question, and it's like, what are we going to have to do to get to the next level? What are we going to do to get through this? Like, it's essentially like the third round yips, right?
I don't know.
I want to hug you.
I sure hope we figure it out by 2022.
Oh my God, I want to hug you so bad. Oh, because it's so frustrating. I don't know who I root harder for, you or Janine, because you're both amazing players, and I just look at you as two of the players in this league that the record just doesn't indicate the level of play that you play at.
Oh, great.
Kate?
Compare me to Janine. She's done this losing for 4 years. I have 2 more to look forward to. What a treat.
Oh, I understand you're a little salty right now. Kate, how are you feeling after
A
this?
bag of popcorn.
I feel dead inside. I'll be honest. I feel like this is my guy, and he outplayed him at every turn.
Yeah.
We stayed with a wheel slice that was like not even like a preference necessarily. He got 7 points out of it. It just comes down to the 5-pointer, and it's just heartbreaking. Like it's not a match I feel good walking away from. Also, if I was Gucci, I wouldn't feel great walking away from this win either. Well, pick up your game.
They win even when they lose. So I mean, you figure that out for me.
I gotta tell you, this is not the loss I want to have, and that is not the win I would want to have. It comes down to you play terribly your whole match, and then at the very end you pull it out. Forget it. Yeah, I'm bummed for Paul because he works so hard, and he just deserves to have those W's next to his name.
I know we're going to get over this one day. I know we're going to get over this hump, and like we're going to reach the next level and like just scrape past this plateau. So I'm so sorry, Paul, that today just wasn't the day. Go get some new protein powder. Let's re-up, and we'll go on from here, okay?
See you next year.
Next year, there's a tournament right around the corner, and there's a lot of other things around the corner. Paul Preston, obviously, a jokester through and through, but he's got an opportunity with that tournament coming up. But you also see JTE's got an opportunity right around the corner, as he is most likely going to be facing Jeff Snyder in his next match.
Ooh, that could be intriguing. I feel like they used to hang out. They used to run in the same pack together. The Patriots possibly squaring off against one another. And it is JTE. He of many mispronunciations, but he got all the right questions correct today. He wants to be a part of it.
Well,
it's a great call, great poll. And JTE and the Exchange wind up picking up 2 more points. And JTE finds himself at 11-10. And what a match it was. Thank you to Mark Ellis. And make sure that everybody tonight, if you haven't already gotten your passes at the schmoedownlive.com, get them now. Yet. If you're not a $10 patron, you can do that and get all the 3 pay-per-views, because tonight, what a pay-per-view it is. You're going to get John Roca versus Ben Bateman in the main event, and in the undercard, if you want to call it that, Primetime Paul Oyama and Ethan Irwin go head-to-head. The winners of those matches will face each other at the end of the month. But what an absolute slugfest both of those matches could be. That's what we got. Mark, thank you so very much. I really appreciate you being here today. Appreciate the team, everybody over at Skybound. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you tonight.
Okay, wow. 3 matches in a row. It's starting to get to me. And assuming it hadn't started yet at this point, 2 more at the live event. I got 9 questions correctly, which under normal circumstances would make me pretty happy. I mean, it's a singles match. I rarely do this good, if not for the fact that I completely botched the IG match just a couple of minutes ago. It's rare that I outscore myself at singles than in Inner Geekdom. But that's beside the point. I mean, I said it up top. I felt the victory by JTE coming. I felt it was going to be a TKO. It ended up not being one, which I guess it's good for the Den. I mean, gotta represent the Den here. But yeah, JTE just won. And Paul Preston did not, and as someone who continues to, someone who continues to keep playing and playing and playing at the best level that I can, not really pulling out a win, I know what Paul Preston is going through. Obviously, he's been going through this for a much longer time than I did, but, again, like I said, beside the point. Congratulations to JT and the Friends Stock Exchange, and good luck to them later tonight with the Roca Bateman match, which I will be attending. You can bet your bottoms on that. So thank you all for watching. If you haven't, I gotta rest myself up a bit, and get myself ready, prepare myself, if you will, for the pay-per-view later tonight. So see you then, everybody. Goodbye for now. Hello again, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.